Hi, my name is George Spees. I'm the Chief of Outreach and Training for the Office of Open Records here in Pennsylvania. The Right to Know law, also called the Open Records Law, governs access to public records in Pennsylvania. On this video, we're talking about how to respond to a Right to Know request. Check our YouTube channel for more videos about the Right to Know law and visit our website for additional information. This video is mostly intended for agencies, the entities which need to respond to Right to Know requests, but it can be helpful for requesters to understand this process as well. The first thing an agency needs to do is appoint an Agency Open Records Officer, or AORO as we like to call them. Some agencies also call this position a Right to Know officer, which is fine. It means the same thing. The AORO is almost always an employee who has other responsibilities. In terms of the Right to Know law, the AORO is the person who receives requests and responds to them. When an agency receives a Right to Know request, the law spells out a number of specific steps that need to be taken. The AORO should maintain a request tracking sheet, keeping a sequential record of all requests received, and the AORO must maintain a file of all requests to the agency. The AORO must ensure the request is date stamped. The AORO must also calculate the response period. The agency has 5 business days to respond to a Right to Know request. In most cases, that means 1 week. But the business days here are the agency's business days. Some smaller municipalities might only have 2 or 3 business days each week. I'll note here that the Right to Know law allows agencies to extend their response time by up to 30 additional calendar days in certain cases. But the initial response must always go out within 5 business days. The AORO must maintain a file that includes each request and related correspondence. All of this information might be important if an appeal winds up being filed with the Office of Open Records. Once those ministerial actions are handled, the AORO should review the request to determine if the agency possesses the record. If the request appears to be for records the agency may have, the AORO needs to undertake a good faith search for the records. This may involve personally searching agency records, contacting other agency employees or officials to see if they possess the records, and possibly contacting third-party contractors to see if they possess the records. Once the records have been identified, they need to be reviewed to see if any exceptions apply. The Right to Know law itself doesn't prohibit the release of any records, but it does allow agencies to withhold records or parts of records in certain cases. Some common exceptions include records related to criminal investigations, records related to an individual's personal medical or financial information, and records which would jeopardize public safety if released. Other laws might also come into play, making certain records exempt from public access or specifically stating that certain records must be released. Court orders and privileges like attorney-client privilege and doctor-patient privilege can also come into play. Depending on what records are identified as responsive to a request, you may want to consult with your agency's solicitor or an in-house attorney. After the review is complete, the agency must get back to the requester and let him or her know that the request has been granted, denied, or a combination of the two. If physical copies were requested or are necessary to respond, the agency can charge up to 25 cents per standard-sized copy. That's the process boiled down to a couple of minutes. The Office of Open Records regularly provides training sessions for agencies that last an hour or 2. If you'd like more in-depth training, visit the OOR's website and click on the Training tab. The OOR also has developed a free guidebook for agencies, which is available on our website. It's about 80 pages long, but don't let that intimidate you. Most of the pages are exhibits of sample responses, sample forms, and other sample documents that you can use. Finally, we're happy to answer any questions that you have. Give us a call at 717-346-9903 or use the contact form on our website. I hope this look at how to respond to Right to Know requests in Pennsylvania was helpful. As I mentioned, we have more videos which cover other topics in greater detail. If you're interested in more about the Right to Know law, visit the Office of Open Records website. Here's a link in the information below. At the website, you can subscribe to a daily digest of every final determination issued by our office or to a general newsletter we send out about once a month. You can also follow the OOR on Twitter at OpenRecordsPA or follow our Executive Director on Twitter at Eric Open Records. Finally, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave any comments below. Thank you.